Huh? Why? Why embellish? Well, as you know, after a while, a bowl is just another bowl, right? You kind of get bored of doing the same thing over and over and over. Simple embellishments can take your work to another level. We're going to talk multiple techniques and methods to make your work fabulous. The opportunities are endless. I'm only going to talk about a few here tonight. Give me the next slide and I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. Okay, bead forming tools. The texturing and spiraling tools. We talked about them last month on end grain. I'm going to talk about them on side grain. Fillers that you can use like Gilder's wax, milliput, a technique called pimples, where, you know what dimples are? This is the opposite of dimples. These are raised pimples on the wood. And it's a very interesting technique I think everybody's really going to like. Burning the wood surface. Bandsaw, using the bandsaw to texture. And what else? Piercing, rotary grinder cutters, and dies. I was asked at the show if we could talk about lidded boxes. I will start talking about lidded boxes, how to prep, how to take a log and make the blanks for the lidded boxes and then let them dry. But lidded boxes is a whole talk in itself. There's about 25 steps to make a good fitting lidded box. Well, yeah, one step is just doing this, okay? So don't, I'm sorry if I made that. And I was hoping to talk about electrical and electronics in woodworking, but we won't have enough time for that. I'll hit that again. I like, one of my other hobbies is digital electronics. I like to play with that and do a lot of LED stuff and lighting stuff, or something as simple as just putting a light. And I've got a little night light here using a shell. Something that simple can really make a difference in your projects. Don't walk away. Oh. Ah. Better, better, better. Okay. Okay, so we're next slide, please. Bead forming tools. I brought a couple. This one's, how are we doing, Al? That's good? Can you zoom on that? Oh, he's on the thing. Yeah, I can't see the screen, so. So yeah, it's a 1/4 inch. Yeah, that'll make a 1/4 inch bead. This one, can you see that? Okay, this one is for pen turners to put the little nibs on the tip of a pen. And I've never used it for pen yet. And I make a lot of pens. I haven't used it for a pen yet. But let me show you what this can do. Oh, all of you who make tops, after you make your tops, there's always a scrap piece left over. And this is what you should be using to play with. Don't throw those pieces away. One thing. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Okay, let's set up. Drop that. I just want to smooth this first. Front row. And these tools are really scrapers. Okay, so treat them the way. Is this not? Yeah, I'm sorry. This face shield is knocking it down. Treat them as you would scrapers. Scrapers, you don't just jam into the wood. You usually hold them in a slightly downward position. And don't fight me. Don't fight me. There we go. And as simple as that, you've got a masterpiece. And I'll pass around that little guy. And in fact, before you pass that, here's a couple of tops I made using that technique. And the big one, the bigger tool, the 1/4-inch tool, I used to make this. And I think that's a very nice piece. In fact, I made a little pedestal for it. And in fact, I'm going to want your opinion. This is from Home Depot, Lowe's, where they sell the countertops, the samples. So you just grab a sample and make a hole. So yeah, you got to get, we do everything low budget. Everything's low budget. So I don't know if I like, in fact, I want your input on this. Is this stem a good shape? And then I said, I wasn't happy with that. Let me make a wooden one. So yeah, let me pass that around. So that's using just the texturing tools, and they come in all different sizes. That one is the 1/4-inch one that I used. I want to talk about the Robert Sorby. Should I change up? Yeah. Is that going to work? I got an adapter on there. Hold on. Will that work? I've got step centers. Here they are. Here they are. There's one. Yep. Nope, it works. So I've got step centers. Oh, let me talk about at the end of the demo. I've got a little slide just showing tools that I use and I like that some of you may know, but some may not. This is a step center. Can you get that out? On both sides, I've got the step centers. Okay, it's a drive. This end is the drive, this end is revolving. And I like these. The larger diameter grips the end of the wood better. This doesn't have a sharp point that's gonna, the points are spring loaded. It doesn't have a sharp point that may crack. When you're doing spindle work, you can crack the wood by putting the regular 60-degree point in there. So I like these. They're one of my favorite drives. What am I doing now? I forgot what I was doing. Oh, yeah, spiral. Embellishing, yes. Embellishing. I got a lot of goodies here. Bob told me, make sure you bring everything you need for the demo. I brought everything I need for. Thank you. That's two. You don't think I would have turned it on, do you? Probably have to rough that down a little. Try that again. There we go. Should I adjust it? Nah, that'll work. That's it. I should tell you, when your tools start to get this short, it's time to buy new tools. Okay. Okay. This, well, this one isn't bad, but my bowl gouge barely fits into the sharpening. Yeah, this guy, it barely fits in the sharpening jig anymore because when they reach this size, you know, sometimes you gotta let it go. I just want to smooth the surface a little. That's pretty good. Slow this down. So I'm going to use a texturing tool. I'm using the smaller one. Oh, and everybody knows these tools? These are, in fact, these are both the same. Well, they're not both the same. All right, don't start. This is the smaller version of this tool. And Alan, can you see that one? Okay. I gotta get bifocals too, because this ain't working. And I got the hot air blowing on me. I'm sweating. Oh. The glasses are good. You got it? Okay. So these are actually cutters. All right. These are not embossing tools. Some of the ones we talked about last week, like the Wagner tools, are embossing tools. These are actually cutting tools. And they're very easy to sharpen. If I can find my card. There it is. Huh? I'm going to show you. All right, can you see this now? Okay. By holding it against the wood, it's spinning. And then you take your card, your diamond card, and just hold it against the bevel. Of course, do it where you smooth the wood. But it's that simple to sharpen. Okay? I'm going to use the smaller one. And this tool it can be used freehand. I hate this thing. It can be used freehand. On the end grain, we used it freehand to make, do I have, put that slide back up. I think I have tops on there that I use this. The same slide. Yes. All right. These different textures are just made by the angle that you hold this to the vertical and the angle you hold it to the horizontal. So if you play with these, and I really like these tools. I'm having a lot of fun with these tools. Keep notes of your angles, all right? So if this is at 12 o'clock vertical and you're going in, 1 o'clock horizontal, write it down on the piece, because that piece that you cut off, these little scraps, when you make a piece you like, I write on the back what I did in case I like this particular pattern, I can reproduce it. Whew, hot. Okay? And again, last month we talked about end grain. First thing I'm going to do is make a spiral using the indexing head. Let me go back over here. Maybe you can see it better on this one. It's got this indexing head, and it's got numbers on it, from number 1, 2, 3. So you can lock this in any position, all right, to make spirals. So I've got it at the number 1 position. Let me use a little one. That's good. You set this about center height, the bottom of this. And again, it's a cutting tool. It's cutting on the upper edge. You don't want to go fast, like 500 RPM. And it's not cutting yet, it's just spinning. As I raise it, it's starting to cut. You can hear it. And I can move it. Nope. I jumped out of the groove. Yeah, hold on, let me keep going. And it doesn't take a lot of force. Let it cut. When you're doing the end grain, it takes a lot of force. When you're doing the spiraling, just let it cut. And yeah, that's a better spiral. There's a good spiral. This one. You know what it's like not using your own lathe? Where, you habitually know where to reach for every control, and pass that one around. Huh? We're all taking off our glasses. Okay, and actually, no, give that back. Give that back. Give that back. I'm going to do a crosshatch. So right now, Alan? You got it? Okay, so you can see the spiral I made here. It's a beautiful spiral. Okay, beautiful spiral. Let me go back because I want to do a crosshatch. Because I want to show you, now I'm probably not, I'm not going to be, we'll see. Wish me luck. Shouldn't have took it off. But to make the crosshatch, I can leave that. I won't make the crosshatch because I can't find my tool. Where the heck did I put the tool? It's not there. It's not here. Okay. I don't want to waste your time. Let me show you what happens if you crosshatch. And that's going to be our next. That's going to be our next topic. This was done on a bowl using the tool, first doing a spiral this way, then doing a spiral the other way. And then I filled it and made this beautiful piece. We're going to talk about that next. It's called milliput. So, Al? Let me see that slide again. Okay, second example, make a crosshatch, which can also be filled. Okay, I'll get to this one later. Deep spiral, just because I don't want to set up right now. But I want to show you, well, I'll show you the finished piece. Here, pass that one around. Pass that around. I was going to, maybe I'll save this for later. But if you do that spiral on the edge of a bowl, okay? Now, this tool does not know the diameter of your bowl, right? So, in order to get the right number of cuts for the circumference of the bowl, you have to make adjustments to this piece, which adjusts the angle. So what I do is I'll put the bowl on the lathe, I'll draw a line on it, then by hand, hold this against it, and rotate it. One revolution. And see, take that off. See if the teeth line up, or if it misses. If it misses, you make a tweak in the angle, draw another line, do it again until the teeth are all hitting 100% all the way around the circumference, right? Then you just start doing a spiral. And what I would typically do is maybe an inch wide spiral. I do about an inch wide spiral on the piece. Then when you cut away the bowl, magic happens. okay? So after cutting the spirals, I took some acrylic paint and just slopped it on, because again, everything was flat. So I just slopped it on the whole spiral and then cut away. And it looks like I really painted carefully, but I didn't. I painted it and then, and then cut away. Give me that thing. What are you holding that for? I'm gonna put it down there. Yeah, that's a really nice technique to embellish the edge of a bowl or a platter or a vase. I'm gonna make a vase. This one I make a vase. You know the dog commercial, the dog food, the Chewy vase. It's a vase. Okay. Let's see the next slide, Alan. Textures, yeah, next one. Oh, filling with waxes. So I have some waxes here I can pass around that I used. Here's a couple of them. One is called Gilder's Wax. One is from the maker of Hampshire Sheen. I don't know if you guys use Hampshire Sheen. His name is Martin Sabin Smith. Highly recommend. He's on YouTube. He's been on YouTube for years. Martin Sabin Smith. He's the guy that makes Hampshire Sheen, and which is one of the products I'll be talking about. Oh, Hampshire Sheen. Yorkshire Grit. That's close enough. Yeah, Yorkshire Grit is he developed this. This is an abrasive paste which you can use instead of sanding on the higher grits. You can go up to about 240 grit sandpaper, then put this stuff on, and this will make it look like it's 1,000 grit, because it's got pumice, it's got rotten stone. It's the same stuff they used to use for French polishing furniture back in the day. In fact, that's what's in your toothpaste, is these abrasives. I don't recommend brushing your teeth with this nasty stuff. Okay, but you put some beeswax in it and some oil. I just started using this, and I'm amazed how much. In fact, the bowl hold on. Excuse me. Let me hold this one up. Let me hold this. This one was just done with Hampshire Sheen. I sanded to 240 and used. Why do I say Hampshire Sheen? Yorkshire Grit. And yeah, that's what it says on top. Yes. But this, you know how long you would have had to sand it to get this smooth a finish. This stuff is amazing, and I've got it at the end of the demo. Bob, this presentation, I guess, would be available on the website, right? Yes. Good, okay. So on there, the last slide, I say, here's the products I like to use. That one is mentioned. I hope I mentioned Yorkshire, not Hampshire Sheen, or whatever. Next slide, please. Oh, let me see the same slide again. I don't have the computer. So yes, that thing was filled with milliput. Milliput. This was a plumber's putty. Okay, it's a two-part epoxy putty. Okay, and it comes in several colors, and you just cut equal parts of A and B. Sit there and mix them for 5 minutes. Stick them in the grooves that you cut with the spiraling tool. And in fact, there, next slide. In fact, I think I talk about it on the next slide. I can't even remember what I do, guys. Yeah, using it on a bowl. There we are. What a great idea. Oh, you got to hit because I got tricky with the part. So there's the crosshatch spirals in 2 directions. Next click, sir. There's this black stuff here. Pass that around. And this is black, milliput. It comes in black, white, terracotta, green, and several colors, red. So you just smush it into the grooves, let it sit overnight, and then go back and cut it away, and it makes quite a mess. Give me the next one. Boom, 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 boom. How you like that? Yeah, just scrape it off. Yeah, I use scrapers. I use scrapers, and you just take it off, and that's what's left behind. Yes, it cures. It says 4 hours. Let it go overnight. Yeah, let it sit overnight. But it's rock hard overnight. Does not shrink. It's adhesive. It sticks. I know, I'm all over the place. Okay. It is adhesive. So you just stick it in. Wear gloves when you're mixing it. And then just, it takes 15 minutes to press that stuff in. It's a stiff putty. But it warms, as your hands warm it up, it gets softer. Yes, please. No, I don't think so. It's pretty strong stuff. But I'll let you know 6 months from now. Okay. That's the first time I've used it. I did that Saturday. Did I just kick it? Sorry. Yeah, let me come around. Yes. There's a guy, John Overton, I think his name is, does a lot of inlays of milliput.
It's a lot of fun.
But
It's a lot of fun.
easy.
It doesn't shrink, lots of colors.
Yes. And it's easy. I mean, you could cut a groove, fill it with one color, and then go back with your what you call it? What do you call it? Come on. Parting tool. And cut another groove and put another color in. And you can mix colors, as you said. Not mix them completely, but leave like a marble pattern and press that in. It's wonderful stuff. Really cool stuff.
Because if you take it off the chuck and do the milliput stuff, and then you put it back on the chuck, you don't get it exactly right all the
You're
time.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. No, thank you for saying that.
Absolutely right.
Yes, I did not take that bowl off the chuck. I cut the grooves, I unscrewed the chuck, I did the milliput. In fact, no, I did it on the lathe. Yeah, I stuck it in the grooves while it was still on the lathe. If you go back, Al. Yeah, so this is applied on the lathe, so I didn't, yeah, if you take the bowl off, yeah, it won't run true. It probably won't run true, then you'll have problems getting a smooth pattern if this is wobbling, okay, if the piece is wobbling. Okay, next slide, sir. Oh, pimples, pimples. We can do the pimples. You're gonna like this one. You're really gonna like this technique. Where can I put this fucking thing? Oh. Yeah, I said, where can I put this freaking thing? I'm trying my best to behave. We're doing pimples. Okay. We're going to do. What am I doing? Oh, Chuck. Thank you. Thank you. It's not funny. I'll put the mic on you. Come on. So this technique I saw in a book many, many years ago. I think it was developed by Japanese to make sculptures of toads so that they would have, move it, okay, better? To make sculptures of toads, and they wanted the warts on the back of the toads. And how are we doing with time, Bob? What's that mean? Okay. Easy, yeah, yeah. If I can find my stuff. That in, 10 in, 10 in, Why is everybody laughing? What was amusing about that? Yeah, at the show. Yeah, a couple went airborne. Uh-huh. We have to launch a couple. We have to. Okay, what am I doing? Pimples. Again. Come on. In fact, I can do that from here. That's a reach. That's a reach. Watch out, Anthony. Okay, the way you do this technique, my stop button's over here, is we're going to compress wood. We're going to compress wood. How we're going to compress wood? With a punch. Okay? We're going to take a punch. Now, this is not take a hammer punch. This is an automatic spring-loaded punch. Pass that down. That's I thought that was sawdust on my face. It's the thing. $3.99 at Harbor Freight. You too can get a spring-loaded punch. The reason I use spring-loaded is because I want consistency in how much I compress the wood. And being Harbor Freight, being Harbor Freight, I have a Starrett one, which I spend a lot of money for, and it's very comfortable in your hand. This one hurts. so I'm going to put on a glove. Bear with me for a few seconds while I compress some wood, okay? And I'm just going to, at random, put in some. And I'm going to do, it works on end grain and side grain, so. Oh, Bob.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Hey, Keith, do you know any turners that can make a handle for you?
Say that again?
Do you know any turners that can make a handle for that spring punch?
I didn't hear you. What did he say? What did he say? Yeah, Bob volunteered. Okay, I'm not gonna bore you. Let me just do some on the end grain. That's enough. You get the idea. I'm compressing the wood. Now, I've compressed the wood. Now I'm going to cut away everything above the surface. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the punched holes. Thank you. I know it looks easy. Always check your tool rest before you start the lathe. I did that on purpose just to show you guys what happens if you don't check your tool rest. Oh, yeah. So I'm just checking. I just want to go down to the bottom of those punches. Yep, that looks good. And where's the other tool? let's get these. Oh, it's up there. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Ah, too much, don't take too much. I want to leave the compressed wood compressed. Yep, that'll work, hopefully. We'll see. Now the magic. Over here, I've got some boiling water, and I will put that in there, and the steam will make those compressed fibers expand. No, I'm just in the steam. Can you see? No, yeah, I'm just in the steam. Well, I don't like putting, it could. I haven't tried that. But these are, come on. Should have waited a second. Takes a minute, 30 seconds a minute for these things to, and in fact, here, why don't I show you what, here, there's a finished piece. Can you go to the next slide, please, Alan? And here's a finished piece. How you like them pimples? Okay, yeah, you can see them. Again, I may have cut too deeply and cut away some of the compressed wood because I don't have my light. Well, anyway, yeah, the light that I brought is too bright. It washes out. So anyway, you're going to see half-fast pimples. Half-fast pimples. Okay, give me a click. Compress the wood fibers. Cut away any compressed wood. I think I went deeper and cut away some of the compressed wood because it's hard to see here. And then use steam, and voila. Give me one more click. One more click. Here we go. One more click. Hey, yeah. How you like that technique? You like that? This is hot stuff. Yes, please. Let me say for the people on TV land, Frank Klaus, he made. Say again. He made a waterproof box. Yeah, good. Wait, he's coming with the mic. Because yeah, when I'm watching on Zoom, you can't hear the questions at all.
I just wanted to mention a woodworker named Franz Klaus who had a shop down in Bedminster, and
I know of him.
He had a technique for making a waterproof box for his water stones, for sharpening his hand tools. And he used a similar technique where he took a piece of wire, put it along the side grain of the side of the box, compressed it, planed away all the uncompressed wood, and then assembled the box, and then just the normal seepage.
And he's got water.
The same idea.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, it's really a fun technique. Please try it. I mean, just take a scrap piece of wood, punch some hole, do some punching, and when you see the little pimples appear, you're going to be so happy. I mean, it's magic. It really is magic. Next slide. Let's see what we're doing. Burning. Okay, I'm not demonstrating burning. All right, but let's do. Give me a click, please. Open grain wood. Woods that have softer, early growth rings become textured when burned. So, some woods have a very big difference between the summer growth and the winter growth as far as the hardness of the rings. ash is, if you give me a click, ash is notorious for this. And if you take a torch, the softer wood burn, the softer rings burn away and leave the harder grain. One more time, one more click. Almost. Okay, so clean your lathe off before you do this, please. Good ventilation. That's why I wouldn't even do this in here. It's, I would smoke you out of here, and the alarms would probably go off. Use a blowtorch, just burn the surface, then use a wire brush to remove the ashes from the soft grain, and you will end up with something like that. That's ash. Oh, let me show it to the camera, I'm sorry. Oh, you got to remind me, because, oh. But I've passed out all kinds of goodies here that they haven't seen. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the texture, but it's a huge, beautiful textural difference. And I could have burned it some more and made the grooves deeper. But on any piece you make, well, if you can get some ash, and ash, unfortunately the ash trees are dying, but if you can get ash, it's one of the best ones for this technique. You good, Bob? Al? I'm sorry. What do you mean? I think I just used Danish oil on that. Yeah, I like Watco Danish oil. I've been using that for forever. And yes, if you don't seal it, you got carbon. Yes, good point. Good point. Any other questions? Yes, please.
The little bit of burning I've done.
Good point. Bob, you got to keep track of all these little innuendos here. You need a microphone in the crowd.
The very little bit of burning I've done, the wood seems to split very easily almost every time I've tried it. Have you found that to be the case, and how do you avoid it?
Well, I started with dry wood.
Wait till it's super dry?
Well, yeah, dry, dry. If you try it with wet wood, I can imagine the moisture expanding and causing it to crack. But I had a dry piece of ash that I used. I said piece of ash, Anthony. I can't take it. Here, can I see the next slide? I'm going right out this door. I can't take it. Piece of ash. Yes, that's what I'm passing around the room. Wow. Next slide. Oh, here's one. Bandsaw. Texturing on the bandsaw. Give me a click. Use the bandsaw to cut shallow grooves into the wood. What I do is take the bandsaw table, set it at 50 degrees, make a bunch of cuts, set it at 45 degrees, make a bunch of cuts, go up to 40 degrees, make a bunch of cuts, and give me a click. See what happens? Yeah. And I stand behind the bandsaw. So, if this is the bandsaw that you normally pushing wood into this way, bandsaw, I'm standing behind it, pulling the wood into the blade. That is, oops, Al, you just took away the picture. Yeah, there you are. Unfortunately, that's a shadow, but the teeth of the blade are facing that way. And unfortunately, I had to do a selfie, so I couldn't have both hands. But I'm actually pulling the piece into the wood. Now, where's our safety guy? It's safe. It's completely safe, even though it's on an angle. Huh? Finger check. And what you will come up with, here's a little box I made. And yes, this was made on the lathe. I drilled it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, this piece is Sapili from Patterson. Does he have any more, Sapili? Do you know? Oh, wow. I'm sorry. From Patterson, yeah, Patterson. He still has it? Yeah, this was a piece of the Sapele, and made a sphere. So I made a lidded, yeah, it's a lidded box. That's a lidded box. And it was done entirely on the lathe, so I don't want to hear about it being square, all right? All right. I even made square tops. Bob sent all those blanks. He sent, how many of you, did he tell you that he wanted round tops? He didn't tell me, so I made square ones. And they spun just as well, they worked fine. So, and actually, I want your opinion too, because the first one I made, oh, am I walking out of the camera? Good, okay. I don't know if that's too small. Yes? Versus that. All right. Don't ask him, please. Oh. So, another fun embellishing technique. Now, again, this was done on a square, on rectangular square stock, but I could have taken a bowl and, let me just run over here real fast. You know, I could have treated the rim of the bowl that way. Or I could have put a band in the middle, protruding, that I could use that technique on. In fact, I'm going to do that on soon, since I'm having fun with that technique. What else? Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, next slide, please, sir. Time's good? Yeah, thank you. Okay, good. Yeah, this good? Thank you. Piercing, cutting holes. And you can use drills. You can use a Dremel, other rotary tools. Like a Fordham is like a Dremel with a flexible shaft, you know, and even a coping saw. Hit the button. Let me see. Click the next slide. Oh, too far. Go back. I thought I had a picture on there. Do I have something here pierced? I thought I did. No, maybe not. Yeah, I'm definitely confused. Okay, go to the next slide. And there's just some examples. Now, do not, under any circumstances, pierce the bottom of a bowl. All right? Don't ask me what I was thinking. Huh? Say again?
What if it's unintentional?
Look at the beauty. This was a gorgeous piece of wood. And I didn't want to do anything on it. And my dumbass decides, oh, let's pierce the bottom. So don't do that. Go back to the slide. It's not fun. He's laughing. It's not fun. It's pitiful. This is a gorgeous piece of wood. You can also, by not piercing all the way through, make beautiful texture with a Dremel. Yes, please. True. I may have to, because I gave that to my mother, and somebody's going to drop, and bottom of the bowl was a little thin, guys. I almost made a funnel, okay? And then I did this, because, yeah, some of these tools will only work up to 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch for doing the texturing and the piercing. So that is already too thin. I made it weaker. Somebody's going to drop something in it and the whole bottom will fall out, but don't do that. Lovely texture just by not going all the way through. And this I'm working on, this is my sperm series that I'm going to be, you'll be seeing, I'm working on, that's a whole series. Give me the next slide, please, Ellen, right away. Give me a click. Yes. Yeah, that was it coming off. And give it one more click, Alan, because then I painted it to make it look like it was on fire. But that was all pierced. And, yep. Lovely. Embellishments. Right? Next slide, please, sir. Oh, go back. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. Oh, no, well, no, yeah, you gotta, um, no, I cut it away first. I made do I have a picture? No. I made a vase, that shape, that thickness, and then I went to work with the cutting tools and the piercing tools. Okay? So yeah, it came off the lathe, but yeah, it wasn't like that on the lathe. Oh, I understand. Now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, it was a nice solid piece, but that wall thickness. And then I cut the shapes into it off the lathe. What's next? What's next? How much time we got? Again, I don't know if I want. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Let me. The tool I'm talking about I mean, there's several manufacturers of them, but it's a wood cutting, carving, rotary tool. Oh. It's a wood carving tool. It's got a 2-inch blade, and that's like a chainsaw blade. All right. Do not take a regular hand grinder and put a 4-inch chainsaw blade on it. If you want to you do some checking on YouTube or Google, the accidents are horrendous. Okay, yeah. A regular grinder is not made. It's made for metal. It's made for things that don't have fibers in them that can catch and kick back, and people have really gotten hurt. And there's lots of people selling attachments for carving wood on a regular grinder. Against the chuck? Okay. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much a chainsaw blade wrapped around. And I mean, nice.
So that's for bigger pieces of wood, taking out bigger pieces of wood?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I can show you a piece that I made. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Go back. Yeah, we got to get our act together here. In fact, while he's playing, I'm going to plug this in.
Oh, that blew. Did you have a question?
The moment has passed.
Oh,
2 clicks.
what was the question?
Double click.
It's still staying blue.
Double click. Click, click.
I did.
What is that tool specifically used for?
Oh, all right.
Taking away bigger pieces
I'll repeat.
or smaller?
I will repeat. She's asking, what is this tool used for? Taking away bigger pieces or smaller pieces? You can carve with this and take deep cuts, or you can use it as a texturing tool, which I like to do. Give me the next click on the slide. Oh, here. Well, let me just show you. There it is. This one's variable speed. Okay. At all times, keep the guard on, because this, could have a little tendency to jump. Give me the next slide. Let me see what we got on the next slide. I think I have a picture of something. What did I say earlier? Nope, go back. I thought I had those pictures. Go back. All right. But let me show you a piece. I thought I had those slides on there. Oh, I know what this is. It's in the staining section. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. Dyeing section. Yes, so made a vase and took this little tool and roughed up the surface that way and roughed up the surface that way while it was still solid. Then I sprayed it black. Then I sanded off all the black so that it left the black in the things. Then I dyed it. So yes, you can make delicate surface, or you can make some really deep. You can do some, you don't need another tool. No, I just saw you at the show with the bags. But yes, this can cut very deep. In fact, we may play if we have time. I don't know. Because it's, next slide. We did that. And yeah, you can use it. Yeah, Rotary, blah, blah, we did that one. We did that. Yeah, we did that. Go to the next one. Dyes. I love dyes. Of 22? Okay, let's go fast. Okay, dyes penetrate the wood. So I'm not going to do any dyeing. I was going to do dyeing, but not that kind of. Come on, I just had heart surgery. In fact, Bob covered for me. I was supposed to do this last month, but I had heart surgery last month, and Bob covered for me. Thank you. And it was 3 days after heart surgery that I had that accident onto the lathe, and yes. But yeah, this is one of my favorites, made by Chestnut. They're a British company, UK company. It's an alcohol-based dye, and as you can see, I use dyes quite a bit. Here's a little piece, just. Oh, no, oh. Here's a little piece I just used to keep my little thing. And this, yeah, and this is multiple coats. The dye, the dyes are additive, the colors are additive, you can mix them. Stains are different. Stains are just a surface. It's ground up stuff laying on the surface. Dyes penetrate, just like, this is like RIT, the clothing dyes. Okay, yes. Do I find some woods better than others for dyeing? No, I play with all of them. They each have their own characteristics. If I wish I had a piece here, like curly maple. If you take curly maple, dye it black, then sand off most of it, and you'll have the black in there. Then you dye over that. It's spectacular. You dye a different color over. So yeah, I typically use multiple colors. And this is a 15, 20-minute process to dye this. This is nothing, I got my gloves, just tapping on the dye, I got 3 different colors. Had a little black I put on first, yeah, maybe. And this is royal blue and deep blue. Whoops. And that's it. No, you don't want to spill those. And yes, in fact, how well they penetrate. Oh yeah, there's a bracelet dyed. I make bracelets sometimes, so that's just maple. Oh, that's just, that's a piece of maple to make a bracelet. And to show how well they penetrate, this piece, I only dyed the inside, and it soaked right through to the outside. It went right through the pores of the wood. So this can give you even more different effects, So all of this stuff, everything I'm telling you here, every topic we hit tonight, you could spend hours and hours and hours playing with each topic that we're talking about. In fact, yeah, send that one around too. That's another filled thing. What? I hear laughter in the front row. Move the mic away from my mouth. Okay. Next slide. How are we with the slides? Oh, here's some dyed pieces that I didn't bring in. I love black. I love black dye. I use it on furniture, on legs, because I kind of like modern more so than, more contemporary. So a lot of my stuff has the frame and the legs, and I use the dye. This one, that's curly maple, but I left it natural. And did a nice offset. That's just oranges. This is spalted wood. That's a maple, fell down in my yard. And there's just one color put on the rim of, that's ash. That's another ash bowl. Next slide, please. Oh, those shouldn't have been in there, but anyway. Yeah. All right, next slide. Oh. It's legal, it's legal, it's legal. Oh, man. All right. This is the end. Yeah, I guess I will show a little bit of this. All right. Well, did I go into electronics? No, I didn't. No, in fact, I'm not going to go into electronics, but since I brought this stupid light, I don't know where the stuff is. I was going to show you how simple it is. Oh, here. Here. Nice piece. Can you see that? Okay. It's the same bandsaw technique I used on this. And bought a shell on Amazon. And that's beautiful nightlight. Okay. And here's the electrical parts. If you're afraid of doing electricity, there's the parts. Oh, no, that's it. I'm putting on my hat now. This is my Heisenberg hat, right? This is my Breaking Bad hat. I can't take it. Bob, you didn't say it was going to be this tough. I wanted to go into electrical and electronics, but we will not have time for that. So let's go. I was asked to do lidded boxes. Yes?
Yes, I may.
Yes? So that's a topic in itself. Oh, I got some. Hold on. And here's another dyed piece. Look at this one. Even on dark wood. Even on dark wood. Shoot that one around. And there's one. I had nothing better to do, so I just carved some grooves in it. So again, embellishment. Embellishment. Oh. This is a piece that I had dyed a couple of but it's dark wood. Can you see it? Oh, okay. Yeah, this one. Oops. To show that even on some of the darker woods, the dyes do a very nice job. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. The dyes do a very nice job. This is blue. I don't know how it's coming across at home on Zoom. And here's a piece I just had nothing better to do, so I carved some grooves in it. It's been dropped a couple of times, so don't worry. I'll even let Anthony hold
So,
it.
hey, Keith, the carving that you did on that one with the spiral, you just did that with a chisel
Yes.
by hand?
Well, no, I have a Proxon chisel. I have an electric chisel, a little vibrating chisel. 'Cause
Okay.
I tried doing it by hand, and I'm not so good at doing it by hand. So yeah, I do have a chisel that vibrates. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Oh, yeah. Yeah, boxes. Boxes. Okay, making lidded boxes. So all we're going to talk about is the prep. How to go out and let me ask a question about wood. Where do you guys get your wood from? Okay, how many of you get free wood? Put your hands up. Okay, should be most of the time. Should be all the time. Tune your ear to the sound of chainsaws and chippers, okay? Go to your local municipal yard, like Anthony lives right near one, that they're cutting down trees and hauling them into the yard. Go in there and schmooze the people and you get free wood. Anytime I pass somebody cutting a tree down, or a tree company, I get out. In fact, this wood was cut Thursday down the street from me. And I went and said, hey, could you cut me a log? 12 inches, because my bandsaw with the riser block, and we're going to talk about that in a second,
There's tons of free wood on Facebook Marketplace.
On Facebook?
Facebook Marketplace, type in free wood, there's tons of it.
Oh, okay, see, I'm not a Facebooker kind of guy, okay. But, yeah, just stop, get out, if they're cutting the tree, hey, cut me a log, put the log in your trunk, go home. All right, just do it. And I said to the guy, hey, I'll give you a couple of bucks. No, which I really wasn't going to, no. But and yeah, this is a log that was cut Thursday. Give me this slide. I should be getting set up. So, start with freshly cut wood so it's not cracked, all right? Wood starts cracking within days, sometimes hours. Yeah, days. So don't take it home and sit it in the yard for 2 months. We're gonna rough turn it, and I can do this right now. I'm gonna do this right now. If I can get my, where's my thing? Where's my lever? I don't know why this chuck is sticking. Ugh. I've got a lever. Oh. Yeah, I still don't know if I got the, oh, I do. Okay. I got the oomph. I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds with my left hand for another week. That's not 10 pounds. But see, I'm doing right hand. All right, we're going to make, again, I love step centers. These are the centers I told you about, and you're going to see them on the thing. Sorry, I'm touching the mic. I know. Give that a good thing. Get this in. I'm gonna make a little bit of mess here, but the heat's going down. I'm sweating, and every time I bend down, the glasses fall off. Oh. Bill, I'm taking a beating here. I'm taking a beating. Oh yeah, I feel the love. Trust me. I absolutely feel the love. Okay, good. Good point. Yeah, do the raffle, do something. Yeah.
The trick, it seems, is trying to find just the right spot.
But I keep touching it.
No, yeah, I understand. One second, I'm just trying to,
And my voice is so deep.
yeah, it's interesting, because I'm trying to get the right spot, and then when you put
The
last
face
time-
shield.
the last time with the face shield, the microphone was on the outside of the face shield.
Oi. Well, he should tell, Anthony should say something. I put the face shield down. The microphone was outside of the microphone. You could have said something. So bum.
Alan. You wanna video this part?
Piece of ash,
the
I
raffle?
said.
Video the
All
raffle?
right.
Can we do the raffle? Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
What do you think,
can I have
Bill?
your attention, please? Okay, there's
You had fun?
a bunch of cool
Good.
pieces of wood down here. A couple of them
It's
are.
ridiculous. I know.
Let's see, excuse me.
Everything's falling
Yeah, why
off.
don't you peek it out of the way? This,
Hey, how you like
can I have your attention, please?
You got to
this
try
piece,
that.
I
You
believe-
have to try that.
One
I don't
meeting,
care what you
please.
call it.
Keith, hey,
Whoa!
let's get through this. I'm kind of a stickler for one meeting at a time, okay? I believe this is a piece of cocobolo. I'm not positive about it. If you get it, hopefully you know that cocobolo can be extremely poison ivy-like. You can get rashes from this stuff. So some people are really allergic to it, others are not. If you grab this,
It's a hell of a
just be
sales
aware.
pitch. Hell of a sales pitch, Bob.
All right. So we had some of this left over from last week. This is a real nice cherry burl that's dying to
Yeah, that'll
turn
light your
into
hands off.
a nice ball. I ended up getting this little piece of gnarly burl. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. And Emily's going to pick the winner. What?
I have-
A book too? Oh, sorry, there's a book also. So Emily's going to call the number. Please pay attention to see if you won. We're going to call out the last 3 numbers. Emily Fox. Come over here, Emily. Pick a ticket. Okay, and ends with 746. Who's got 746? You only get to win one time. Okay? All right, Emily, pick another one. 793. Who's got 793? Pete. Pick a piece of wood. Don't dilly-dally. Grab a piece. It drives me nuts when you've got a choice and people go, wow, I'm not sure. Should I get this? Should I get that? Just pick it up and keep moving. All right. Pick another one.
Get the hell out.
794. Who's got 794? You do? All right. Pick another one, Emily. Got to spread the love. Okay. 781. Michael. Okay. I'll throw them in there. All right, Emily, get another one. That'll be some cool bottle stoppers or a bracelet or something. 792. You got one? Emily, pick another one. Pete's a big winner tonight. 748. Michael, all right. That's a piece of sapelli. All right, one more, Emily. 3 more, and we have a book also.
Pelly is beautiful. Did you get any?
776. Who's got 70? All right, Gary, good. Hanging in there?
Yeah, that ball.
This looks like a piece of spalted maple. Make 3 nice bottle stoppers out of that.
Okay, and these 2?
Or this one's available too. That's a cool cherry burl, a cool ball. I thought that was going to be the first one picked.
Gonna have to move it, but okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that's a Pelly.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful wood.
750.
Well, I hit it with oil.
750. Who's got 750? Michael, get another one.
This thing has bounced around the shop.
765.
Trying to buff it.
Who's got 765? All right.
Pay attention.
Got 2 pieces of wood and a book. One more, sweetie. 795. Who's got 795? How many tickets did you buy? Jeez. 790. He's the luckiest guy ever. Second meeting. 753. All right, Anthony. All right, got a piece of wood and a real nice book. All right. And last one. 760.
Every time
John.
I try to buff it, and it's
There you go.
finished, completely finished.
All right, thank you.
Try to buff it, boom, gets a big dent in it. Now it started out
Good to
about that big. I'm serious. I'm serious. Okay. Well, all right, then let me just show the hollowing technique. Give me just 5 minutes to do that. It's getting late. Is the chuck on? Oh, of course not.
Well, we have so many show and tells. I think we're gonna run out of
All right, give me 5 minutes to do this. I just want to. This is important because we should talk about grain direction and cutting and which way you're supposed to cut. Okay, I don't know. There's a lot of new members, a lot of new people here, and new turners who may not know which way they should be cutting when they're. Let's show the process. Give me the next slide. Give me the next slide. Am I in the way? Yeah, we're gonna rough turn. Blah 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 blah. Don't worry, we'll do that. Oh, all right. We're gonna use the spindle gouge upside down. All right. And we tape the pieces together. Okay, go. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's the log. Okay, cut it, make slabs, cut them into blocks, and this is what we're going to end up with. Cut that in half, and you end up with. What? No, I took that one away. So here's So here's the top and the bottom. After you cut it apart, put a tenon on it. Oh, I'm dying. I can't take it. Bob, I ain't doing this. No, I'm not doing this no more. You put a big tenon on it. Come on, what is the? Okay. Now, there's a couple of ways you could hollow this out. Because the purpose of hollowing this out is because this is what is it? It's a big chunk of wood. If you leave this like this, what's it going to do? Crack, split, boom. Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you asked that. She said, even if I put sealant on it. Why does wood crack? Bob, give me 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Why does wood crack? Why did wood just crack? Nope. Come on. Yes.
Because when it dries, it loses moisture and the fibers compress
Yes.
at different rates in different directions.
Yes. And you know why? Yeah. And you know why? This is a bunch of straws. This is a bunch of fibers, like strands of spaghetti, right? When they're wet, they're swelled up. When they dry, it's like it comes out of the box. They get smaller. Every fiber gets smaller. Well, starting at the center of a log, for example, if you counted them and say, okay, there's 100 there in this circle. Out here, there's 1,000. Out here, there's 10,000. Each one shrinks the same amount, so the amount of shrinkage that's happening out here is much greater than in the center. So it just cracks. That's why wood splits, okay? Or at least round logs split, all right? So how do we prevent that from happening? I'm going to hollow this out, okay, and allow air to get in and flow without the center being there resisting it. Now, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could take a drill, take a big Forstner bit and go in there, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Those of you who didn't see the accident, is it on our website still? Is it on the Yeah, last month I had an accident where the drilling into something, the whole shaft came out of the tailstock. So now the drill was, and it hit the person standing next to me who was videoing it. Which way am I going? This way. All right, yeah, a couple of minutes. Oh, go to the next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. Because I got drawings. Hey, here we go. Correct directions. All of these are wrong. All of these are correct. All right? When you're in yes, take a picture of this. In spindle turning, you know spindle turning. You go from the largest diameter to the smaller diameter, right? Call it going downhill, right? Yes, you do. Just like there, large diameter, small diameter, all right? On the inside, it's always the opposite. Same with bowl, it's always the opposite. You want to make smooth cuts that don't tear out. You want supported wood, and here you want to go from the smallest diameter to the largest. If you go the other way, you see a little tear out, he's showing a little tear out, okay? So, I'm going to start in the center of this piece using a, this must have been, using a spindle gouge, if I could find one. It's over there. No, I only need them for close-up. And I'm about to do a dangerous. This looks dangerous, but it's not funny. This is not funny. Bill, please. Yeah, he's number 2.0. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just going to do them. I won't touch them. Huh? No, they're perfect. Perfect. That was, All right, this is the last thing we're doing tonight, guys. I can't take it anymore. Yes. Thank you. How's that, Al? Give me one more slide, please. I think it's the last slide. Come on. We're going to rush? Come on. Yes. So we're going to take cuts like that. All right. This is never mind that. We're going to do them from the center out. I'm going to be turning the gouge upside down. If I can find it. There it is. Spindle gouge. I will be upside down with the bevel rubbing on the top. And watch how quickly, but the time that it would take you to set up a drill, you can do this. Let me go up here. Okay, in we go. I'm pushing in. You see, I'm actually rubbing the bevel, but I'm going upside down in this quadrant. I'm going to go slowly here so you can see. I tried to blow that with the face shield on. You see that? The bevel is rubbing completely, just like your regular cut. Nothing's out of control here. I'm rubbing the bevel, but I'm completely upside down. And watch as I come through. How you like jam apples? So that beats, thank you very much. That beats setting up Forstner bits and every daggone thing else. And when you're finished, you tape the bottom and the top together with the tenons in the middle so they can breathe. You write the date on it, the species, you put it aside for 3 to 6 months, come back, this will be dry, ready to make a lidded top, which maybe we'll do a demo of in the spring or at some point like that. Let's go, yeah, 3 to 6 months. It's because you're giving it this much surface area, okay? Give me the last slide, please. Here's products I use, and again, these are gonna be on our website. Wood slicer, bandsaw, oh yeah, I didn't mention the bandsaw. Do you guys have riser blocks in your bandsaws? Everybody have a bandsaw? Raise, yeah, yeah. 6-inch or 12-inch? You got a riser? 4-inch. Well, maybe you can get a riser block, which you just put it in there and then just buy a longer blade. Because I have a Delta, an old Delta. It was 6-inch capacity, but then they sell a chunk of steel that you just raise it up and buy a longer blade. It's called a riser block. Check your, yes, riser block. Because you see, that was a 12-inch log that I just cut today for that. Oh, and when you ask the guy to cut your 12-inch log and you don't have measuring tape, guys, how big is a dollar bill?
6.
It's exactly 6 inches, exactly. Take the two of them, 12 inches. 6 by 2.5 inches. So you can fold it this way and do 3. You got 2.5 this way. You can make 1 1/4. You can use this as a measuring tool. Oh, okay. Step centers, we talked about. Chestnut stains. Yorkshire grit, I got it right. I like Vicmark chucks, just me. If you're buying chucks, don't go buying 5 different manufacturers because this guy's selling an $80 chuck. Stick with one manufacturer, please. You're going to make yourself crazy. I like Sorby tools. Most of these are Sorbys. I've been using them forever, 30 years. But I'm not besmirching you from spending money on high-quality steel like Carter and Son and, some of the fine tool makers for the few tools you use all the time. But these are Benjamin's Best, Packard Woodworks. They're inexpensive tools for stuff you don't use all the time. One more. Wonderful. Glue Boost. CA. Glue. Wonderful stuff. Woodturners Wonders. Go to their website. They made my light. The light that I have was from them. CBN wheels, sanding systems, and there's a riser block. That's it, guys. I'm done for tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Best presentation we've had for a while.
Here's looking at you. Alan, take this thing off of me, please.
All right. We're going to start. Thank you so much, Keith. That was a lot more than I thought it was going to be, and it was outstanding.
It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that was really cool. Pete, come on up. We're going to start on this side. Pete's a brand new member.
I got started turning, working for, the guy I work for is paralyzed and needs a motorized wheelchair, and it was breaking down, and just crazy little things needed to be fixed, and actually buying a replacement was way more expensive. So I wound up getting a mini lathe and figuring out how to fix something. So I had been doing some woodworking, but not much. But the lathe, it's kind of addictive. Anyway, my church is attached to a preschool, and the lady who directs the preschool said, "Oh, you have a lathe? Could you make like little Christmas trees for the kids to paint?" And I'm like, oh gosh. So yeah, I made 70 of these things. That was interesting. But then I got the idea to make some Christmas ornaments.
The camera's here, so just point it at the camera.
Oh, okay. So some Christmas ornaments, and these are just glued up pen blanks. And this, the hanger And the finial, it's from an ornament kit. I think woodturnings.com makes them. So I like making things with a sort of checkerboard thing. That's included in all the little things I make. And most of these, I had planned on making them the same shape, but yeah, they're all different, kind of accidentally on purpose, I think. And then I was trying to make some tops for the show, and well, they were all failing. And I was trying to make them with some acrylic pen blanks, and they didn't work, but I saw that I could turn them into ring holders. So these are nice little things. I imagine they might sell as well with tops at shows. So those little odd things, and I want to move on to like making bowls and doing some of this cool texturing stuff, but right now I'm making little things, and friends are saying, "Oh, that's so cute," and like, okay, well, that's good. Come on. Thank you. Go get him, Jean.
Good job. Okay, so Bob asked me to make some snowmen, so I made a bunch more of the snowman tops. And this is my best ballerina top. It actually spins nicely. Experimenting with resin on the top part of it. And I tried to make some tippy tops, but kind of failed. I still need to work on it. Then someone in one of the Facebook groups showed a button bowl, and it's just a box with a top that looks like a button, which me and my friends have found very enchanting, I guess is the word. And this is my newest finished piece. It's a lovely piece of ambrosia maple, and I wanted to shape it like an egg, and it's a lidded box. So lots of tops and stuff. So, Carol. Come on, tell us how you made that amazing little bowl. Work it.
I'm coming. Okay, so I got a carving, a micro carver, and started playing around with it. It was one of those, I stared at this giant, big bowl. I said, it looks like a cantaloupe. And I spent weeks trying to decide how to carve this thing, because it's like, the wood is precious, you have to get it right the first time. And then I decided just to put on my big girl panties and go for it. And it's just, so I painted it white and then just carved through it, try to match the orangey color. And now I've got the decision, I didn't finish yet, of what do you seal this with? Because it's acrylic paint. So that problem solved. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's my goal of this time, is to start playing around with my carvers and embellishing. I don't know who's plattery stuff. Who's up? Use the magic wand. Use the talking stick.
Okay. So, let's see, here's the camera. Oh, there it is. All right, so I was at the wood show, and they had a bargain bin of wood, giant chunks of wood for $20, and I was like, you know, I'm going to throw away some money today at the woodturning show, or the woodworking show on, you know, a random piece of wood. But it turned out to be pretty nice and a pretty nice platter, but that's not the interesting part about it. I've been experimenting with finishes lately, and I wanted something that was completely clear, a completely clear friction polish, which doesn't exist on the market. But I found that people doing stuff with fossils, when you get a fossil out of the ground, it's generally crumbling. People use what's called a consolidant. And I found this stuff that's called paralloid. It's basically liquid acrylic, and as in acrylic plastic. It's completely clear. It dissolves in acetone or alcohol, but it's a lot like shellac. So I figured I can make a friction polish with this, and that's what I did with this. It turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So you can take a look at that. But the nicest thing to me about it is that it doesn't do anything to the color of the wood. If I was to use shellac, it would be an amber color. Or pretty much any other polish, including like tung oil or something like that, it would be a different color. So this is the color that the piece of wood was when I turned it. Or if you were to just like wet it or something. So that's cool. The other thing was this. I don't love the shape, so you'll recognize this is a bottle stopper. Thanks, Bob. I don't love the shape. That's not what this is interesting for. This was a piece of spalted maple that had gone too far. It had gone so far that it was basically falling apart. And this fossil stuff, I decided to give it a try, see if I could stabilize the wood with it. It worked out pretty well to the point where, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's nice and solid now. It also worked out pretty nicely as a friction polish on this. So if anyone's interested in finding out more about that, I might share some about that. But I like the fact that it doesn't change the color of the wood. There's a bunch of wood stabilizers out there. There's cactus juice. I don't really love cactus juice, but this was really easy to apply because it dissolves in acetone and it soaks into the wood like super quick. So that's that.
Bill, have you tried lacquer, spray lacquer?
Yes. I don't like that spray lacquer takes time to set up and leaves a film on the surface. Leaves like a thick film on the surface. I wanted something that was like basically non-existent almost.
Everybody? You got something, Larry? Yeah. Yeah, so I moved into the area recently. Before I moved, though, I got a pickup truck full of red oak. Say this is all I have, but I had to leave most of that green oak left there at home. Turned it green, kind of start to finish in one sitting, air dried. Turned green, sanded, air dry, then put it back on the lathe between centers and do some finish sanding, maybe starting with like 320 or 400, and a couple of coats, 3 coats of a polyurethane as a wiping finish. So just check it out. It's kind of a nice lightweight piece.
Wow, grain feature there.
Yeah, it was a big tree. Unfortunately, the club I was at, a lot of those guys got some pretty big oak logs. It's not really crazy enough to move that, but I did turn it 4 or 5 pieces out of this before I left. When I get a new tree, I want to turn one piece first, just like a test piece. What is this wood like? Kind of give me a good feel for what the rest of it will be like. So this was my test piece out of that log. Yeah, I heard chainsaws around the corner showed up with a truck, and they loaded me up. And since I've been here, I've been turning some small stuff because my big lathe isn't working. I turned lots of little tops, but this little piece of mesquite just was kind of nice, so I turned a little friction fed box out of it. So turned with dry wood. And then there's a little bit of wood left over, so made a little hollow vessel. I do a lot of these little minis. They're just kind of fun. They're very relaxing to do. This one had.
Hold that.
I'm sorry?
How do you hold that, Chuck?
Yeah, so this would be turned, and the good question is how do I hold it? Because it's got a round bottom and no evidence of how it was held. So I would turn, it would be held in, basically just in the chuck, in the spindle direction. I hollow the form out, turn the outside shape, hollow it out mostly, and leave a little stub, maybe like about a pencil diameter. Then the piece of wood that's left over in the chuck, I would trim down, make a mandrel, reverse chuck this, jam fit it, and then turn the bottom. So, it's a lot of like fussy detail on something very small, but it's really good skill building exercise.
Cool.
And another thing, I grabbed that. I made this last year. It's a silly thing, okay? It's a little teapot, but I saw a demonstrator do an online demo, and people started asking about his teapot because he makes a lot of them, and he said, oh, well, the spout really isn't hollow, and he has the lid glued on because he's not very good at hollowing, so I had to make this hollow. The lid comes off, the spout does kind of go through, and it's set in with a little, like a rabbet joint. So the wood is mulberry, and the other stuff, the other wood parts are some Jatoba, Brazilian cherry kind of flooring scraps. So, yeah, little stuff. Thanks.
Okay. What's that one with the veneer?
It's a fun
That's you?
story.
Yeah?
Fun story. So who here knows everything about everything? I do, yeah. So you may not, but I know everything about everything. So I'm bringing my stuff in a shopping bag. My wife says, well, shouldn't you wrap that a little bit better? I know everything about everything. No, that's fine. Take it out of the truck. I drop the bag. I break it. It breaks right on the line. It started off with a block of walnut. I cut it into strips. I glue construction paper in between, clamp it, and then you turn it. And then I also took, I cut it different directions. I put pieces of cedar strips in between, and that's why it kind of looked great until I dropped it. So maybe I don't know everything about everything. This I made out of a piece of walnut, just, I think it was maybe 1 inch thick, 12 by 12.
Show it to the camera, just point it towards the camera. Okay.
I'm sure a lot of you know that if you cut it on a 45, you can stack it so that you don't waste hardly any wood. All right, and I did that. I saw a guy do it on YouTube. Of course, I have to try it.
That's bowl from a board technique.
What is it called?
Board from a bowl. A bowl from a board.
Bowl from a board, right, exactly. And it works great, you know, very little waste. This thing started out as just like, it was gonna be a big bowl, and then it got too heavy and it got too, I don't know, it was out of round or something, so I cut it in half and I made a top out of it. And I also dropped this, and I noticed I broke a piece out of it. Right there. I don't know if you could see it. Well, something. But I don't know everything about everything. Anyway, so this is just made out of a bunch of layers of ash. You guys will recognize these pieces I bought at a show.
Spectre plywood.
Okay. And then I softened up this piece of walnut after cutting a curve on a bandsaw, and I softened it with a microwave. I wrapped it in paper towels, heated it, let it sit for a day because it was real thick. I've done skinnier ones before, but I never did one this thick, and it bent beautifully. It's really cool. So, except for breaking it, I'm real happy with it.
Anthony, where's Anthony? Good job. Let me say something. So Bob Johnson last meeting said we could use donations for the different events, right? And we're still looking for people that want to take some of their art that they're willing to give to the club. Anthony had 4 different pieces that he donated at the woodworking show, so prolific giver. You were very generous, and I really appreciate that. The people that got that, talked to everybody who won something. Yeah, well, you 10 pens too. Yeah. But everybody that I contacted that got something were just thrilled to death that they got something from the New Jersey Woodturners. And that really helped quite a bit when we were selling the top. So if you're not familiar, it was so funny. People were walking by and they're going, they're walking by the booth. Oh, what's over there? Oh, what's those tops? And we're behind the counter saying, hey, Would you like something for your grandkids? Would you like something for your kids? Would you like the original fidget spinner, right? And they were sold really quick. Then we'd say, look, if you spend $20, you're going to win one of these prizes, right? People were throwing 20s down like crazy. So that's one of the reasons that we went up to $2,300 at this last event. When we do it with the coloring lays, that's the other reason that we had made so much money. And there wasn't really that many kids at the woodworking show. At Earth Day, it's going to be loaded with kids, right? So Bill's going to make another one or two, and I'm expecting to have like 3 of those little lays, and we're going to have a lot of fun with the kids. But thank you so much for all that you did. Plus, he made about 100 tops, right?
Yeah, I make a lot of tops. I have fun. But to get through this quick, I know we don't have much time. But one of the giveaways at the wood show is a heart platter. This one happens to be poplar. What I do is after I hand carved it, I dyed it with black ink, then gave it a sand to show some of the highlights, some of the high spots. And then I colored it with red trans tint acid dye. After that was done, give it another little sand, and then a few layers of shellac. I like using shellac, especially on stuff like this, because it's a mechanical bind, not a chemical. I mean, a chemical bind, not a mechanical bind, meaning you don't have to sand in between coats.
What do you gouge it with?
This I use the Arbortech. I use an Arbortech. I think it's a power carver. So that's number 1. Number 2, before I move on to number 2, I want to thank Russ and Carol for the newsletter every month. I really enjoy it. Russ, I do understand the jumping from hobby to hobby. I do the same thing, but every time I read your part, I'm nervous to spend money. I have to make sure I put my wallet well on the other side of the room. But Carol, I was really inspired by yours because your message was about coveting wood. And that's what I did. I see a piece of wood, although I'm fairly confident in my turning, I still covet the wood and go and think I'm gonna mess up. But let's start with this piece. This was a cherry burl that I won last month at the giveaway. So I made a little platter. This is just, it was a little punky, so I used CA to stiffen it up, and that's what turned the edge black. I don't know why it turned it black, but it turned it black and it looks cool. And then, again, multiple coats of shellac. But the inspiration actually led me to these 2 cherry bowls. This was a cherry burl that I had on my counter for about 2 years. It finally gave me the confidence to just go in and actually finish them. That's finished with half and half, which is half tung oil and half citrus oil. The reason you thin the tung oil with citrus oil is because you have deeper penetration. And yes, Carol, you can laugh. And it also dries faster. It dries in about 2.5 weeks, opposed to about 3 months when you use pure tung oil. Okay, next, the sunflower bowl. People keep calling it sunflower. This is wormy or ambrosia maple. Wormy and ambrosia, interchangeable terms. Point at the camera, Bob. Then I used a little Dremel tool to make the shape in the top, and that was, again, finished with half and half. Okay? Next, this was from a biscuit that I had. This is another piece of maple. I used soapstone and CA glue and actually brass shavings for the embellishment. And then I used a dark tung oil to finish it, to make it a nice, deep, dark cover. But I also finished this one in shellac, and the funny thing is I was getting tired of super shiny, so I used the 4-0 steel wool to knock down the shine on that one.
Did you cut out that? Or did
That was actually the shape of the edge of the wood, of the edge of the biscuit. No.
I knew that.
Okay. Here's another piece. This is another piece of ambrosia maple that I used another soapstone again, and epoxy for the inlay. I also used the spiraling tool here and on the edge, filled that with soapstone, and if you flip it over, what this also did was this, let's just say I upped my membership in the funnel club, so I came through the bottom, and I had to patch it. So it looks. Thank you. So I actually used the same, a cutoff from over here to make the circle, and used instead of trying to hide it, accent it, where the two pieces. Embellish, yeah, where the two meet. And so that's where I did that one. So that's that. And this is the last one. This is another piece of ambrosia maple that is, there's two types of soapstone in there. There's both, there's just a white soapstone and an artificial turquoise in the enclosure, in the embellishment. And that I finished with Waterlux, Waterlux Original. That's it. Everything.
The creativity that we're seeing tonight is phenomenal.
It's a lot of fun.
This is a really good meeting. Yeah, I'm loving this tonight.
And every finish I do use, I try to use a wood safe finish. So everything I mentioned is 100% food safe. So it just makes it a little easier.
Oh, Mike?
Mike? There you go, Mike.
Mike, I got the mic, thanks. This one is a cherry burl, and I love the fact that it's oval. I turned it oval, or if you do it that way, it's round. The optical illusion of the two parts missing. This is a cherry burl that a friend gave me from up in Lafayette. He gave me about a dozen of them. This was one of the bigger ones. I really like that piece. This one is the prize I won last month. It's a stump, apparently 12 years drying, so it was somewhat dusty, punky. I think I have developed a new finishing technique with this one. First of all, it's got just a wonderful feel to it. Because it's a bit punky, I put some sanding sealer on, and then I sprayed it with varnish, about 10 coats, using a Nick Agar technique of misting it, not spraying it on. And I didn't like the finish, so I spent an hour removing the finish with mineral spirits. And then I gave it a couple of coats with mineral spirits after. I think it's a very natural looking finish, and it feels so nice. The last thing is, I took to heart Bob's chattering tool demo that he did, and I made this one with a rod that you use to sharpen scrapers for cabinet scrapers to put the burr on. Furniture, yeah, a perfect tool. And I used the clamps. They're taped because they're sharp. And that one, and this is a English bread knife that's a little bit older than me, and that's old. And I ground it down and turned it into a chatter tool. And then I decided I needed to practice. So I started practicing on a top, the blanks you use for the tops. And then I turned the first one off, and I said, well, I'm spending all this time chattering away. I decided to make pendants, ordered some findings online real cheap, and I'm going to make a bunch more and try and sell them at the Earth Day, as we do with the tops. But both these chatters tools work really great, especially the bread knife. I mean, it's a good one. Thank you.
Cool. Congratulations. So I made this lathe, and I'm always on YouTube looking for ideas for another project. And there was a ton of homemade lathes that were either made out of construction lumber or plywood, and people were hobbling stuff together. And I didn't think I didn't like any of them. There was one guy who did make them out of mahogany. So I'm thinking, if I make a lathe, I want it to be nice, and I want it to be functional, right? So, you know, people were doing all wild different things. So then I'm thinking, I want to do it as inexpensively as I can, right? So then I'm thinking, maybe when we did a treadmill motor, and maybe I can pick up a free treadmill and I'll get the motor, but then you got to do the motor controller and this and that. So that, after watching about 20 videos of that, I decided not to do that. Then I'm thinking again, I want it to be functional, and I had no idea where to get the spindle and a quill with a Morse taper in it. So I'm thinking, geez, what am I going to do? Because again, I want it to be functional. So what I ended up doing was stripping down a Turncrafter lathe. I got it at a real good price from Mike. And so I'm basically copying the design of the Turncrafter lathe. So I'm about 90% complete now. I've already got the legs. I'm able to fit the motor underneath it. And so this was a good way to have a functional, really cool looking lathe. So next month when this is done, I'm going to have some brass accoutrements on there, and the finish will really pop it's mahogany. So that's the Pele mahogany that we get from the cabinet shop. So this is functional. Had some the interesting challenge was making this hole here because it was a non-standard size. So it was close to 2 7/8, but not quite, right? So I ended up having to use a boring head, which I should have brought it because most people don't know what that is. But it's like a big chuck, and instead of if the chuck's this big, the center of it is here, but you have a boring bar over here, and as it turns, it's reaming it out, right? And my friend who's a machinist helped me do it, so we got it down to like exact where that is. So next month it'll be done, but I'm close enough to it now. So the motor is already mounted. I can put the legs on it. I'm going to put the legs on it this week. I'll sand and finish it, and then it'll be done. My goal with this, what I wanted to do, was not only make a YouTube video about it, but also when we go to the different shows, like at the woodworking show, or up at Saratoga Springs or at Lancaster, when they have the instant gallery. It's just an interesting conversation piece. Plus, I'll be able to turn on it, right? So it's very functional, right? So that's what I'm doing. Cool. All right. So, do we have any questions? Thank you, everybody who participated in the shows. Tonight was awesome. This is the best meeting we've had for a long time. Keith, you did an outstanding job. Again, the creativity over here was great. People are really expanding their capabilities and their ideas. So with that, I'm going to close it down. Alan, you say goodbye to TV land out there. And if you want to mingle and get ready to go, go ahead.